Hey everybody, so I want to share with you guys something, a little trick. I'm not big on tricks, but I prefer to, understand markets rather than use tricks. But there are some tricks that can be extremely profitable, and I call it trick trading. So, so I just want to show a post that I just did on StockTwits a few seconds ago. And 1 second, to show you guys. I like to stay accountable. I don't show this to you for any other reason. So I said Netflix at 127, way overextended on nonsense news. Just a day trade short here, 286 with a tight stop. So what actually ended up happening, I actually ended up getting stopped out on that one. And so I got stopped out. I'm going to try again. I would expect a close of 283.50 is my target, so I'm going to fire once more here at 286.41 with the 50-cent stop. So I'm sharing this with you because it's a really, really excellent lesson that I think a lot of you can get some value from. I'm accused a lot of the times of not teaching people on my YouTube channel, but this is one of those things that you can, learn and apply no matter whether you're trading my method or you're trading with other people's methods or whatever you're doing. Now, I'm actually going to write it out because it's probably cool if I write it out. Okay, so I wrote it out here, and it's probably one of the biggest reasons why I make as much money as I do as a trader. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're using technical analysis, using fundamental analysis. You can apply this almost immediately to your trading and start to see incredible results. It literally took me from, obscurity to massive profits, and it's something that you should start to apply immediately. So what is it? It's a little mantra that I have in my head. And initially I learned it was to find a good trade and then wait for it to get better. But I didn't like that too much, so I kind of renamed it a little bit. And I said, find a good trade and wait for it to get great. Find a good trade and wait for it to get great. And all of a sudden, by doing that, I started to cut down on my amount of trading that I was doing, which meant less commission, which meant more money for me in my pocket. And my ratio of wins to losses started to go a lot higher. Okay? So I thought, well, why stop there? Why stop there? Why not find a great trade and wait for it to be amazing? And I started doing that, and that only made it even better. Now, I said, why stop there? What happens when I've had a couple of losers in a row? What happens then? What should I do then? How do you recover from a string of losers? Well, the answer is very simple. You find an amazing trade and wait for it to get unbelievable. Okay? So, let's actually see how this works in actual reality. Now, my students will recognize why Netflix was a very good buy this morning, right? However, when we broke this level right here, I didn't really want to buy it anymore, and I decided that it was still, I was kind of bearish on the market today, and my students will understand why I had more of a short rotational bias on the stock market today. So I really wanted to find some shorts, but I wanted to look at things that were overextended, and Netflix has been way overextended. And since its earnings, it's gone parabolic. So if you're looking for an amazing trade and waiting for it to a good trade, a great trade, and waiting for it to get an amazing trade and waiting for it to become unbelievable, that's exactly, and I'll show you what I meant by that. So let's say you were thinking about shorting Netflix for whatever reason. Okay, my students, it's a buy, but let's just say it's a good example, and that's why I'm using it right now. So let's say you were thinking of shorting Netflix. Well, here is a good trade, right? If you had a short bias on the day and you believe that there was a rotational market that was going to happen, then shorting this level after it rejected once, twice, 3, 4 times, that's a pretty good level. That's a good trade potentially for a short, right? Now, going by our rule, which is find a good trade, wait for it to get great, as it pops up and puts in this little candle right here, this to me would be a great trade that has become, I forgot what I wrote. Find a great trade to be the great trade and wait for it to get amazing. So that would be a great trade that gets amazing, right? And then finally, when it goes higher, okay, and then rejects off of that high, off of that candle right there, that is an amazing trade that is unbelievable, right? Now, again, I'm just using Netflix right now as a short because I actually took the trade. And I knew that it was an extremely dangerous trade to be fading this because this is at all-time highs, forever highs, all kinds of new news out on it. But I do believe that this whole bullshit about Netflix moving into China is complete and utter bullshit. Chinese are never going to pay for movies ever. They are the masters of stealing movies, right? They're not going to pay for Netflix. Anyways, doesn't make a difference. But whatever reason you had, okay? So this is an example of finding a great trade and waiting for it to get amazing. This is an example of finding an amazing trade, waiting for it to get better, and finding an amazing trade finally and waiting for it to get unbelievable. Okay, and so that's why I took that trade. Now, really, I'm giving you these 3 things in my head. So all I really do, to be very honest with you, is I just say, find a great trade and wait for it to get better. And then what I really do is I really just say, that's not even good enough. And that's not even good enough. I'm just writing this out for you here so you could have a better idea of it. So really it goes from good trade to great trade to amazing, and amazing trade to unbelievable. What I actually really do is I just kind of have a little mantra in my head and I say, well, that's a good trade, but I'm going to wait for it to get better. And that's an even better trade. I'm going to wait for it to even get better. And that's an even better trade, and I'm going to even wait for that to get even better, right? And that's kind of how I use it. I assure you that if you put like a little sticker on your computer, or I'm a big believer in mantras. Like, I literally will sit at my desk sometimes. I know it's going to make me sound like a real weirdo, but it's true. I don't want to lie to you guys. I'll literally sit at my desk sometimes and I'll sing things to myself. So, there's a great trade, wait for it to get better. Here's another trade, wait for it to get even better. Here's an amazing trade, wait for it to get even better. Right? And I'm just using this Netflix example because there was 1, 2, 3. Now, I didn't actually pull the trigger into 286. Then I got stopped out, but then it gave me another nice little level that I thought was really good. And if it breaks down here, it's actually going to get even better. My target on it is somewhere around, I expect us to retest this area here at 284. So I had about a 50-cent stop and potentially a $2 target. Now again, for my students, you should not be selling this, but I'm just using it for an example to show people, find a great trade, wait for it to get better, or find a good trade, wait for it to get great, find a great trade, wait for it to be amazing, find an amazing trade, and wait for it to be unbelievable. Any way you want to do it, all I can tell you is it made a quantum difference. That little trick, if you will, made a humongous difference to my P&L month after month, day after day. Okay? One of the greatest enemies to us as traders is commission. And if you can overcome the commission by trading less, and anything that helps you trade less is awesome. Okay? So I'm going to take this trade off when we retest this level here at 283.34. I got in at 286.41. You guys can see here, 286.41 with a 50-cent stop. And I almost have a $3 target on this with a 50-cent stop of 6 to 1. So nice trade if it works out, and we'll have to see how that plays out by the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Find a great trade, wait for it to get better, and take it to the next level. Wait for it to get better, and wait for it to get even better, and wait for it to get even better. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. Bye for now.